Hey guys, Bill Soriano here from Pittsburgh. It's Sunday morning, 9/10, September 10th, 2023. It's time for our weekly, our weekly Smart Money Concepts Outlook or overview, whatever we want to call it here for the week of September 11th. So we're going to go through what we're going to do on this video here. I'm going to show you real fast. And if you're watching this video, by the way, if you are watching this video, then that means that you are in my Forex Smart Money Supremacy group. This is an invitation-only group. You have to have joined me in one of my affiliate offer or in I Am Academy in order to have access to this group. So right now, at the time of this video, there's only five or maybe 4, 5, or 6 people that are actually in this group getting access to this weekly overview every week. Okay. And also look at all the live sessions here. So make sure you've been in the group here and you've checked out everything down below this video because, I've been doing the chart markups of all the trades. I've been putting actual trade alerts into the group here with, the actual buy limit, stop loss, and take profit, as you can see on this one here. So I've been putting actual trade alerts. So what I do here during the week is I go over the point of interest alerts when they get hit. I help show you how to identify the choke or the change of character. I show you how to identify the lower time frame flip zone. And I actually put the trade alert there telling you where to put your limit order, where to put your stop loss, and where to put your take profit. And by the way here, guys, so far this week here and for the month, if I can find that here, let me put it. For the first week of October, we had, let's see here, we had 3 wins and 1 loss. 3 wins and 1 loss, right? 75% win rate, 5% gain on our account because all of our trades are 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio trades. Okay. So let's get started here. Here's what we're going to go over today. We're going to go through all 28 pairs on my watch list here, and we're going to identify what is the higher time frame trend bias. What is the daily trend bias? We're going to use the daily chart for that. Once we identify that, we're going to find a 4-hour order block to trade from going with that daily bias. Then inside of that 4-hour block, we're going to put an alert at our POI or our point of interest. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to use a free indicator to identify these order blocks. If you're new, I use the free indicator in this video every week, and it's a good indicator. I also use it to identify the lower time frame flip zones to take the trades on the 15-minute chart. But it's right about 80-85% of the time. There are some times that I just don't agree with it, so I just ignore it. These order blocks must meet 3 criteria. They must lead to a break of structure. There must be an engulfing candle, and they must cause imbalance. Now, if you're watching this video, then you obviously know what that is. They also must not have already been mitigated or touched. Okay. And then, of course, once these 4-hour POI alerts go off, I drop down on the 15-minute chart and wait for the entry model, which is the lower time frame flip. So that's what we're going to do today here. So let's get started. We're going to start at the top here, AUDCAD. Now, some of these charts have flags by them, and some of the charts are going to be marked up from last week. But what we'll do is unless the setups are still valid, we'll get rid of all the drawings, we'll get rid of the flags and everything. And so we'll kind of start from scratch here. So if we go to the daily chart here, and let's put our Smart Money Concepts Lux Algo indicator on here. And by the way, we don't need this indicator on the daily chart. So let's just get rid of it. Okay, so very quickly, when you look at this, you can easily see this is in a downtrend. Okay, now to help beginners out, I put these 3 moving averages on here. The red one is the 13, the green one is the 62, the blue one is the 200. So when you see them lined up like this, 13 below the 62, both of them below the 200, you obviously know it's in a downtrend. But you can also see that. Okay, so if we drop down to the 4-hour, we have an order block already marked up here. Okay, and that order block is still valid because our point of interest hasn't been hit. So our point of interest is that blue line. Now, in order to use any of these order blocks here, you see how the indicator wants to give us this order block to sell from and this order block to buy from. Well, we know that not everyone trades the same way we do. We only trade with the higher time frame trend. So we're not going to look, we're going to completely ignore this sell order block, right? I'm sorry, that's the order block we want. The higher time frame trend on AUD/CAD is bearish. So we're going to ignore this bullish order block down here because we don't want to buy this. Now, this bearish order block isn't valid to me because there's no break of structure. Now, some people may consider this internal break of structure here to be a break of structure, but I don't. I need structure to break down here. So if structure would break down here, if we get a candle close down below this area right here, essentially, then then we can look at trading from this area, right? But since we don't have that, we're going to stick with that order block that we already have marked up. Okay, AUD CHF, we go to the daily chart here, and again, we're bearish, right? We're bearish on AUD CHF. Higher time frame trend is bearish, right? Drop down to the 4-hour, we have an order block again already marked up with the point of interest there. And again, the indicator wants to give us this buy order block, but we ignore that because we only want to sell. We want to trade with the higher time frame trend. That's it. And this bearish order block here isn't valid because we don't have a break of structure. Now we have a break of structure alert set here, this red line. So if price would move down here and close below this area here, then we would get notified. What's going on here? That's our 14-period ATR I just took off of there. We don't need that until we actually go to set our stop losses on 15-minute chart. So let me just, if we would get a break of structure like this, then we may be able to use this order block here, or there may be a new order block that we can use. But right now, we need price to come all the way back up to here before we look to sell it. AUD/JPY, this was one of our trades from last week, right? So this trade though, however, this trade has not gone off yet. Okay, so this is a current trade alert right here in AUD/JPY. Buy limit 93.817, stop loss 93.516, take profit 94.414. So we're not going to do anything to this chart because it's already set up, ready to go. And again, I would not set that buy limit tonight. I don't like to take any trades during the Asian session, okay, on Sunday night. So I would not set this limit order until the London Open Monday morning, like whatever it is, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I always get confused once we go on to daylight savings, off of daylight savings, whatever. But I would not set that limit order right now, but I would set it anytime after the London session opens on Monday. Okay, so that is an open order right here. This is a trade alert that I gave last week, and it is still valid. We're still waiting for price to come back down here and hit our area that we want to trade from, right? And you can see here, we're on 15-minute chart. Okay, so that's AUD/JPY. Let's go to AUD/NZD. Again, let's start at the daily. The daily is kind of, if you look at it, kind of have, the recent structure is kind of bearish here. We got this move down here, but you know, you can, argue both sides on this. You could say that the higher time frame trend is bearish, or you can say that it's bullish. And if you look here, price is kind of right at the 200 day, and the 13 and the 64 are kind of right on top of the 200 day. And right now, with the 13 crossing above the 64 or the 200 and the 64, that kind of gives you a bullish bias for this pair. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove all the drawings here. And so the bullish bias is from this bigger leg right here that moves up. Okay, and so if we were looking to trade this, we're on the daily chart, obviously. Let's go down to the 4-hour. See what we have on the 4-hour. So on the 4-hour, we got this order block right here that was already hit. Looks like it was almost violated. So what I would do is I would go down to the next area here, which we're kind of already into. Okay. So I would kind of identify that order block, and I would put our interest right at the open of this red candle here. And so in doing that, if we just remove the indicator for a second, we could see that price has hit our point of interest. So this would be a valid trade to begin watching, right? Okay, so we don't need to set an alert there because it's already been hit. So of course, what we do is once these get hit, we drop down to the 15-minute chart and we say, oh, look, what do we need? Well, we need to get a choke or a change of character to the upside. So we kind of need price to break structure. Some people would say here, but me, I would kind of wait for price to break this area up here. So I'm waiting for a close above this red line here. And then once that happens, then we'll be able to identify our lower time frame flip zone, and we'll be able to set our limit order. But remember, we can't do that. We can't identify a lower time frame flip zone, and we can't set our limit orders until we get the break of structure that causes a change of character, or choke as we call it, right, on the 15-minute chart. And we don't have that yet. Okay, now some people would argue, well, Bill, you really only need a break of structure right here. So if that were the case, then it already did that. Then we would look to trade from this area right here, right? That would be our lower time frame flip zone. But to me, this is just more of a consolidation here, not really a pullback. So I'm still saying that this is the area. Then, of course, there are some people that use the internal structure and they say, well, look, we got a break of structure to the upside here. So that's your choke or change of character, right? Again, and that's what the indicator is telling us too, right? It's saying we have a choke right here. But again, that's not how my trading plan works. To me, the best area to apply our edge and the best way to trade this pair would be to wait for this break of structure to occur right here. Okay, so that's what we'll wait for. Okay, so let's go to AUD USD on the daily chart. We appear to be appear to be bearish, right? We have a 4-hour order block marked up from last week, and that order block is still valid because we did not get a break of structure to the downside here. Okay. Now, the indicator is giving us these order blocks right here, but again, without this break of structure to the downside, I basically need a candle to close below this wick over here. So we need a body of a candle to close below that red line to get a break of structure, and then would be able to trade from these order blocks here. Until that happens, we have to trade from the order block higher up. Okay, and that's already set, so we're good to go there. Let's get to the CAD pairs here. We have again a bearish CAD CHF. We have an order block set here. Again, the indicator wants to give us these bullish order blocks, but we don't want to trade. We don't want to trade bullish right now. So we have this alert set. We have a break of structure alert set down here. So if price would drop down here and close below this area here, then we would be able to identify a closer order block to trade from. But right now, we're going to stick with this 4-hour area right here. CADJPY, again, on the daily chart. Very bullish, right? Very bullish. We have a couple areas marked up here. And so it looks like that point of interest alert was hit at one point here. So we're trying to, on the 4-hour here, we're using this area a little bit lower down here. Okay, so this kind of looks a little goofy to me. Let me just get rid of this. Okay, now what's interesting here is we get this internal break of structure right here, but I'm looking for a break of structure up here. So I have an alert set up here. Okay, so this area has already been mitigated and it already reacted off of. So we don't want to trade from this area here anymore. So our next order block is this candle all the way down here, but the candle wick is so big that it's giving us too big of an order block. So we're just going to scale this down a little bit here, and we're going to come all the way down to where our point of interest is at, and that's where we're going to begin that order block. Again, the indicator wants to give us this one. It's not valid because I don't have a break of structure up here, and this one's already been mitigated or hit once before. So we're going to leave this one set. CHF, very, very bullish, very, very bullish. And again, this order block here is set with the point of interest alert right there. Now, we didn't get any type of break of structure to the upside here, so we have this consolidation. If we would get a break of structure to the upside, then we can move this order block up. The indicator is giving us this order block here to sell from, but because the higher time frame trend is bullish, we just ignore that, right? We know that we only want to go long on this. Now, if you're a type of trader that goes against the higher time frame trend, then you would look to take that trade. And that's why the indicator paints all these order blocks. It paints the order blocks both ways because it doesn't know what type of trader you are, right? And there's no way in the settings to adjust that to tell it what type of trader you are. So it's going to give you both order blocks going both ways. But you have to be smart enough to know that you're only looking to trade this long because of the higher time frame trend. There's nothing here that tells you you want to short this. Okay. We know it's going to pull back a little bit, but we don't know where and when. The better play is to wait for it to pull back, hit our point of interest, and then continue upward. Okay, so let's go to EURAUD. This was a trade that we did take last week, so let's remove everything here. And let's just get this all reset. We're obviously very bullish on the daily chart. And the 4-hour chart, again, it's only giving us places to sell from, which we don't want to do. So if we come over here, we could see that we have a very good area here, right in here on the 4-hour chart to trade from. Okay, this area here has already been hit, right? Reacted off of. We did have a winning trade in that last week, I believe, right? EURAUD, no, we did not. So we may still have been, let's see something here. That had to be invalidated, yeah. We're going to set our order block down here. And our point of interest is going to go at the open of that red candle right there. So we're going to set an alert right here. Okay. We're going to go to EURCAD. This one I think did have a trade, right? EURCAD was a winning trade, yes, from last week. So let's remove the flag. Let's remove everything. Let's start from scratch here. So if we look on the daily, we're bullish, right? Still very bullish. And if we drop down to the 4-hour, you know, that area was already hit and reacted off of, obviously. But we did not get any break of structure to the upside here, right? So the indicator is giving us these order blocks to sell from, which we don't want to do because we know the higher time frame trend is bullish. So we have this one down here, which I don't really like, but we have another area of this that we can use here, a few candles back, because there's no break of structure to the upside. So this technically has not been mitigated. So we can actually use this candle right here because we have some imbalance. We have an engulfing candle after it. And it's not the best situation, but again, we don't trade directly off of these 4-hour points of interest, right? We drop down to the 15-minute and wait for our confirmations. So if price comes down to here, we should be able to, you know, take a trade. Now, if price were to shoot up higher here and break some of this structure here, then we can identify a higher area to trade from. EURCHF, we're looking at the daily chart. And again, this is just a weekly overview, forecast, whatever you want to call it, where we're marking up the charts. Again, the daily chart, very bearish, right? We have this area marked up on the 4-hour. The indicator is giving us a different area, but again, we don't have this break of structure. If we would get this, we have this break of structure alert. That's the red line there with the alert alarm bell on it. We get a close down to here, then we can use this area up here maybe. But right now we have to wait for price to come up to here because this is just all consolidating here. Okay, all consolidating. The actual move came down here, and now this is all consolidation. Okay, EURGBP. On the daily chart, we are bearish, right? Obviously bearish. Drop down to the 4-hour again. It's giving us a order block to buy from. We don't want to do that. And I may have to, I think my settings may have gotten messed up here because it got knocked off the chart yesterday when I was doing a live session, because after you have it on your chart so long, it times out and you have to reload it. You have to delete it from the chart and then reload it. So my settings may be messed up on this, and that may be why we're getting so many bad order blocks here. But it usually gives you an order block both ways anyway. Again, we can't trade from this order block because there's no break of structure down here. So we have an order block set right here. We have an alert set right there. And so there's no need to do anything else with this pair. EURJPY was one of our losing trades, as was EURNZD was a winner, USD was a winner, and the GBP odd trade is still active. So let's just clean up all these charts here now. And we're going to start from scratch. Looking on the daily, we're very bullish. Drop down to the 4-hour. Again, this order block here has already been hit and reacted off, right? So now we would need price to come lower, right? And so we would kind of need price to come all the way down to here at this point. We have no imbalance here, but we have some imbalance down here. So right now we can identify this order block, this banker candle here, which identifies the order block, that red one. There's a nice engulfing candle, and we do have some imbalance there. So we put our point of interest right at the open of that red candle, right? Again, the indicator is telling us we have imbalance here, but we don't. See how that wick has filled that imbalance, but there is some imbalance low. So that's where our alerts put now. But really, what we're looking for is we want to put a break of structure alert right here. So we want to use the red line. We're going to put an alert there because more than likely, price is going to move up higher here. And then we'll be able to use an order block down here because we have a break of structure. So once we would get that break of structure to the upside, that would then validate this order block down here for us, right? Or there could be a higher one. But right now, until we would get that break of structure alert there, we have to wait for this area to get hit here because we already traded off of this area. EURNZD, again, let's remove all the drawings here. This is bearish on the 4 hour, right? A little bit of a move down, but it's not enough. It's not even a change of character to me. Really, to get a change of character, I need to move all the way down to here. So, because this is just all, there's really no pullbacks here. It's all consolidation, right? So let's drop to the 4 hour. Again, it's giving us order blocks to sell from, which we don't want. This area was hit already from over here. And so right here, we have a nice area to trade from. A big engulfing candle, a little bit of imbalance, right? Not very much. There's a little bit more imbalance down here. So I'm going to move the order block down a little bit here, right to here. That's actually the lower area anyway. Set my alert right there. Right, but again, what may very well happen instead here, we may get that break of structure alert here to the upside. So we're going to set an alert there as well. EURUSD. Let's remove all the drawings here. Go to the daily chart. And on the daily chart, the bias is still kind of bullish on the daily chart. Now you can see here that the 13 moving average has now dipped below both the 62 and the 200. Now we have what I would define as a break of structure right here. Oh, that would be a break of structure, or that would give us a change of character or a choke, right? But then what happens is price kind of pulls back, and then we get a second break of structure. So now this is telling me in advance that the trend is about to change on EURUSD. And so the daily bias for me now is bearish. Okay. And I know that it looks really bullish, but because I get what I call a choke plus here, that tells me that I can now look to take this down in the short term here anyway. So, and if I had to identify an area to trade from, then let me just get rid of these red lines. The indicator is giving me this area here I don't like because it's just too close. But this area here, there's a lot of imbalance here. You have this consolidation. So I do like this order block that the indicator is giving me. And of course, I would use that blue candle right there. For my point of interest. Okay. So again, we don't trade from these 4-hour points of interest. So if price is going to go back up, what will more than likely happen is it comes up into this order block here, right? It'll probably just keep going. And that'll invalidate that order block, and then we don't have to worry about it. right? But if it doesn't, then that tells us that we can look for a trade to the downside and we can catch this trend change here in EURUSD early. You can see the trend has definitely changed on the 4-hour chart, right? Okay. It just recently changed on the daily, in my opinion. So we're going to set this point of interest alert here, and we're going to look to sell this, okay? We're going to look to sell this. And even though our last winning trade last week was a buy, right? I think right now it's time to sell this. Okay, so let's go to GBP. We're getting into the GBP pairs here. And this one is our current trade right now. So this is our current trade right here. It's still active. So the point of interest got hit, I think, 1:45 a.m. on Friday, or the lower time frame flips in. So we still have to wait and see what happens here. Now, again, if you're taking these trades on a live account or on your funded account, you would have already exited this position Friday right before market closed, right? And you would have exited in profit, about a 22 pip profit, okay? So, you know, we're risking about 40 pips, so you're only getting about a 0.5% gain on that. But because we do exit all trades, all live trades or funded account trades before the market closes on Friday, we don't want to hold them over the weekend. So you would have done that. But for the purposes of this test and our journal that we're keeping, we're going to keep this trade running because some people do trade like that. Some people's trading plan allows them to hold the trades over the weekend. So we're going to keep it running to see if it ends up being a win or a loss, and we'll record it as such, even though I would have gotten out of this trade on Friday. Okay, GBP CAD. On the daily, yeah, it's kind of still bullish, very bullish on the daily here, right? Not enough of a move down to give us a choke. Well, we may, yeah, I mean, you really have to come all the way down here to get a choke. This area here got invalidated. So if you look on the 4-hour chart here, we have a different area marked up here. So let's just get rid of this area here. And so we're waiting for price to hit that alert right there. GBP CHF on the daily. We're bearish. 4-hour order block is still marked up right here until we would get a break of structure down here. That's the order block we're going to trade from, right? Price almost hit it right here and reacted pretty well off of it, but we can still get a move back up here. And then, of course, if we would get a move down, we have a break of structure alert right here. And it looks like it was set a while ago and it went off. So we're going to reset it here. Because that would be able to identify then a closer order block. GBP JPY is going to be very bullish. We have that 4-hour order block still marked up there. We didn't get a break of structure. We have a break of structure alert up here. The indicator is giving us some order blocks to sell from. We don't want to do that, obviously, because this is too bullish. Even though we do have a big consolidation area here, I think that once it comes down to here, we'll see a move up. GBP NZD on the daily, we're bullish. We have that 4-hour order block already marked up there, right? Again, it's giving us these ones, the indicator, but we don't want to trade short on this. There's not enough proof yet for you to tell me that this trend is changing. So once it does come down to here, we're looking to take it back up to the upside. GBP USD is going to be, it's bullish right now. Okay. And we have this indicator set. Now, I can tell you this, if it drops down and it goes through this order block here, then it's going to change to bearish. Okay. So what I'm going to write here is if this gets validated, then trend is changing to bearish. Okay? That's just a little note so I can remember that. So that way, that tells me, hey, if you get a move down here, because we got a change of character right here when this structure gets broke. We do get a pullback and a second break. So this may be coming down as well, but we're going to leave this area valid right now. Right? And again, if it goes through here and it invalidates it, then we know to look for a bearish order block. But right now, we're going to leave it like this. NZD CAD. Let's see here on the daily. The daily is, appears to be what? Appears to be bearish on the daily. We have a 4-hour order block here. It looks like it got hit. Right here. So if we drop us down to the 15-minute here, let's see what we're looking at here real fast. So our order block gets hit right here. And so to me, what do I need? I need a choke right there, or actually I might want to go all the way down to here. I do get that choke right here. See that? And so if we just pull this back here, let's just pull this back to right where we get our choke. Okay, let me just show you. I usually do this during the week. But let me just show you what I'm looking at here. So as I play this forward, I get a choke right here. And the indicator is giving us these order blocks right here to trade from. What's the problem with these order blocks? The problem with these order blocks is they're too far away from our 4-hour zone up here, right? They're too far away. So we can't trade them. Okay, but we can trade the other ones up here, right? So price comes up, hits our point of interest. We get a break of structure. So we could look to trade this area right here. See? So let's just play this forward now. And so this is going to be a trade alert for next week. Okay, I'm telling you right now, NZD CAD. After I get done with this video, I don't want to hold this video up, but I'm going to mark up this area up for the sell limit. I'm going to look at it again to make sure everything looks good. And if it does, I'm going to post this in the group as a trade alert for next week. So I'm going to make this purple right now because, okay, NZD Chef. We've been very bearish on this. We have this 4-hour order block marked up here. The indicator is giving us this one, but no break of structure to the downside. So we're going to stick with this one up here. NZDJPY on the daily. We are bullish, right? The 4-hour. We have an order block right here. We're waiting to get hit. Again, the indicator is giving us this order block to sell from, but the long-term trend is bullish, so we're not going to do that. It's giving us this indicator to buy from, but we had no break of structure to the upside here. So that's not a valid order block. Okay. Now, if we get that break of structure, and then we can think about it, right? If you get a break of structure above that point there, then we can think about trading off of that order block there. But until then, we're going to leave our chart as it is here. NZD-USD on the daily. We are bearish on the daily. We have this 4-hour order block. I don't know where it went now. We got a break of structure here to the downside. So that validates this order block right here. We have a nice anchor candle here. We have a nice engulfing candle after it, and we have imbalance. We got the break of structure. So this has everything we're looking for. Now we're going to use, I don't know why, but the indicator is not using the correct candle to identify this order block. There's where our point of interest alert's going to go. In NZD USD. USD CAD. This pair here, yeah, it's looking bullish, right? Right? It's a big flag here. You can see here if you scroll back how you have the big move up, and then right here, this is just a big flag coming down. Okay, so to me, right now, we have all the indicators saying that the bias is bullish on this. So we're going to leave that as the bias, and we have this order block right here to trade from. Is it a great order block? No, it's not. Okay, we do have an engulfing candle, but we have a very small candle. Okay, so the area that I like better, guys, is the indicator giving me that area? It is. Okay, so we're going to leave that there. We're going to wait for that to get hit. And if that's not going to be hit, then more than likely what will happen is it'll go right through here and invalidate it. And then we're going to look probably for this area right here to get hit. Right after that. USD Chef. This area here got invalidated, right? So let's remove all the drawings. See what we got here on the daily chart. Yeah, so we still appear to be bearish. We're still bearish on the daily chart. We would need to get a move up to here just to get a change of character, in my opinion. So we're still very bullish. If we look on the 4-hour here, I'm sorry, I say bullish, we're bearish. Not bullish, bearish, okay? USD CHF is bearish. So if we're looking for an area to trade from, again, this area, no way. Of course, we don't want to go long. We need to come further over here. So we got a couple areas here. We have this area up here that looks like it hasn't been hit yet. So you know, really, in my opinion, the best area is just to come all the way up to here. You have a nice engulfing. You have imbalance because this doesn't count because there's no break of structure first. Now, once you get the break of structure, it doesn't come back up here. Let's set our alert right here. Okay. And so that's really not that far away. We need the price to climb up to there in order for us to look at selling this, right? USD JPY is the last pair. I have gold down here, but I don't really trade that. Somebody asked me to do a overview for it one day, so I put it in there. So again, this is very bullish. We have a 4-hour order block. Looks like it's already marked up. And so we're going to leave that order block there. I don't really like the zone that it's giving us here. This is the full order blocks right there. Okay. Okay, guys. So there you have it. What have we done today? We've gone through all 28 pairs. We identified the daily trend bias, right? That's the higher time frame trend. That's how we always want to trade, right? We found a 4-hour order block to trade from going with that bias. We identified a point of interest inside of that 4-hour order block, and that's where we set our alert, okay? So we did that for all 28 pairs. Now I showed you a free indicator. It really didn't do a good job today, though, in my opinion. Normally it's right about 80–85% of the time. But I think what happened was I have to go in and fix the settings because it got knocked off the chart yesterday during some of my live sessions because, like I said, once it's on your TradingView chart for so long, you have to then delete it and put it back on. But anyway, order blocks met these three criteria. And again, once those order blocks get hit during the week, that's when the fun begins. And that's when I come live here in my Forex Smart Money Supremacy group. And that's where I start giving you trade alerts, right? And I start, doing some live sessions, showing you the point of interest alerts, the lower time frame flip zones, and I put the trade alerts here in the group. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that this week as these 4-hour points of interest that we're going over today get hit. Okay, so Bill Soriano from Pittsburgh. Have a great week, guys.